Sad that there's no muscly girls in here. Well, I mean, yeah, but, you know, sure, I like to joke around and talk about how, oh, I'm strong women all the time, but that's not the only girls I like. I like big girls, pretty kitty girls, really witty girls, singing ditty girls. I like the licky girls with the nice thighs. I like a good chest, no matter what size. I like the belly folds, I like the six packs, really tall queens, and the short stacks. From the mild girls to the wild girls. You got style girls, make them round girls. Yeah, I just really like girls.
That animation is the most popular video created by the user JoCat on YouTube, and it was actually something that was so popular that it ended up getting repurposed and reposted on Instagram, TikTok, other websites. And usually when things like that happen, it can kind of spread like wildfire and end up getting more views and more people that are outside your target audience to look at your content. I mean, for me personally, I don't even really resonate with the content that he makes. I don't think so, because dude has like 30 videos of Dungeon and Dragon. But I saw that video. That's something that's very popular. And what's funny about this is that when you make videos, sometimes you just want to share your opinion or share an idea, and you hope it resonates with the right crowd, and you hope that there's some type of common link that'll take your content and link it with others. But the way the algorithm works is that sometimes there's people who don't gel with your content that come along. And like a normal human being, if I see something I don't like, I just leave or don't look at it. But unfortunately, there's some people that see things that they don't like and then become crusaders in the cause against trying to destroy that thing they don't like. Now, in the case of YouTuber JoCat, he actually made an entire post saying that if this is what it takes to be an online content creator, I don't want it. Where he basically says, hey, my name is Joe. I've been making videos in YouTube for over 5 years. I've got a lot of views, a lot of videos. And he explains that one of his videos, that animation, was something that he thought was funny. He thought he'd share with his audience off stream, and it ended up kind of blowing up, and it became very, very popular. And what ended up happening is that a year later, after it became popular and after it became something that more people outside his target audience found, he started getting harassed. He ended up getting DMs on Discord. He ended up getting weird packages sent to his address. I don't know how much he shares about his life. This is a really good example why you should never share your real name or real address online, because there are weirdos who will like swat you. There are weirdos who will like send you like packages. There are weirdos who will call Papa John's and get you a large pizza knowing damn well ain't no one eating Papa John's since Papa left. And he basically ended up getting harassed for reasons that are not necessarily known. I mean, there's a couple of videos that I saw by him that I could take a wild guess and say that people don't like his political opinion, or he doesn't come off as someone that they like. But again, it's very weird that you find someone online that you may disagree with to some degree, and then you make it your cause to harass them. Like, I don't even know how you go to that level of loserdom. But he basically goes through and he says, listen, I never meant to make anyone upset. I only ever just wanted to make things I was passionate about for fun. I never intended for this one video to really be all that much deeper than just a thing I wanted to share with others. And he basically says that because this is something that is happening and it's continuing to happen, he's like, you know, if I make another video and it blows up even more, do I get harassed even more? And he kind of goes on to say, listen, I still want to make things, but maybe I shouldn't share it with others. And for now, he's going to finish up 2 projects that he's working on. But after that, he's kind of just going to give up. He's either going to maybe come back anonymously and make content on that angle, or maybe he'll just make things and share it with people who aren't weirdos. And I think it's unfortunate because when he says this line right here, where he says, I never meant to make anyone upset, it kind of shows that he really has 2 things. I've seen this multiple times. Like, this reminds me, this is a little off the beaten path, but this reminds me of the post Sci-Hi made when he was in Atlanta and almost got shot up. You're basically begging the people who are harassing you. You're begging the people who are attacking you. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't mean anything. I'm sorry, big bro. It's like when you run into someone who like takes themselves way too seriously. You say a joke, all of a sudden they talk about, you know, I'm the OG here. You know, I'm the big dog. And you're like, oh boy, I just walked into Debo and bro ain't taking any jokes. And it's similar case here where he's trying to say that, you know, I wasn't trying to make anyone mad. I was just sharing my opinion or sharing something that I thought was funny. And now I'm getting harassed. I don't really get it. It's not like he's out here with someone like Keemstar who's very flagrant and very aggressive, and he doesn't care if people come after him because he's ready to argue. He's someone who's just trying to share a post online and some way, somehow is now getting wrapped into harassment. And I think this is another example that is unfortunate with the internet, is that there's nothing really YouTube could do in all reality, because YouTube at this point, they disable dislikes. YouTube at this point, you can turn off comments. But at the end of the day, you can do those things to try to curtail speech and curtail the interactions. But there's people who will find this video on other platforms, whether they can comment or not. And if they're deranged enough, they'll go down the route of trying to find his personal information. If it's easily accessible, that's it. They got a hook, line, and sinker. They're going to try to send messages to this guy, emails to this guy. And I think it's very, very odd when people do this for a lot of reasons. But I think that with this case specifically, it seems like he's someone who doesn't really want that attention. It's someone who can't necessarily handle it to a degree since he wants to give it up. And I think it's very deranged to a level of almost a serial killer, where you start off with this slow blackmailing. From there, you move on to torturing small animals in the woods. And then from there, it's a fast pace to being a serial killer. Like, you have to be deranged to want to find people's personal information, use that personal information in an attempt to blackmail them and silence them on the internet. And I don't know what exactly, is motivating this. I don't know if it's someone who's a deranged fan of his. I don't know if it's someone who just hates his opinions that he shared online. But it's definitely an example to say that you shouldn't share your information online, and at the same time that when you make these videos, you don't know who's going to see them, because there are literally a plethora of mentally ill individuals that have Wi-Fi connections, and because of that, they can interact with you. I think it's unfortunate that the people from R9K are bleeding out into the internet as a whole. I think there should be some definite containment boards, some containment areas to keep these monsters in there. But so far, so hard. This does not look like it's a simple feat. I don't know what's going to end up happening with this creator, but if I was him, I literally would just come out and tell people to eat ass, because at this point, if I made a small, funny video and you're getting triggered by that, I would come out and just double down. I mean, for me personally, that's something that I saw when I made a video about a Russian racist individual, and majority of the people showed up telling me that racism is okay and it's good and it's something you have to promote. So I just doubled down and made another video hoping that they'll get mad, and they did. So I don't know. I mean, all different things are considered. All different people have different feelings. But for me, if this happened and I saw that people were getting pressed over a funny, stupid clip, oh my God, bro, if you're pushing buttons with that, you might as well come out and just hit them with the atomic bomb. You're going to make them flip their minds. But if they know your address and they know your personal information, I can understand being a little bit weary, because there's a lot of weirdos out there. But I definitely think it's something to take into consideration if he should just come back and drop a hit 'em up this song to all these weirdos. At the end of the day, it looks like this is another case of internet insanity.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. Call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!